I would like to invite you to a new way of thinking, regime thinking. This is the location of one of the old gardens of the Chinese emperors. Nowadays, it's the campus of Peking University. As one of the majestic leftovers of China's ancien regime, this is a great place for thinking about regime, about how regime gives each society its unitary character, yet how it thereby also carves the world at large into 100 different pieces, some small, some housing 1.3 billion people. Here at Peking University, I have, together with a Swedish co-author, developed a new social theory for analyzing the most fundamental differences between societies. Our new theory is a synthesis of ancient Greek political philosophy and the best of modern sociological theory. We revive and apply forgotten insights from ancient Greece to contemporary comparative sociology and reveal that the most fundamental differences between societies are differences in regime. Regime molds our entire life, moves us around throughout our life. We even pass it on to our children. Through regime, we become part of those around us, and those around us become part of us. Yet exactly because its presence is so pervasive, we never see the needles knitting us together, or the threads that guide our thinking. Regime is the holistic character of society as deriving from its fundamental power structure. Each society has a particular kind of regime that corresponds to the dominance and predominance of a particular kind of human being. Regime mesmerized the ancient Greeks, and for both Plato and Aristotle, it formed the primary social and ethical concern. Traveling amongst and studying the many different societies of their time, the Greeks were struck by the deep pluralism of social life and the diversity of human types. The stoic, selfless, brutal Spartan, the narcissistic, spirited, democratic Athenian, the confident, assertive, mercantile Corinthian. The ancient Greeks realized that we human beings are not sprung from the depth of history, but that we are rather constantly being shaped by the social order in which we live. They called it politeia, or regime. The word regime is modern. It derives from the French Revolution, which was the paradigmatic modern regime change, in which the ancien regime gave way to a fundamentally new social order and a new kind of human being.
Regime is the oldest and most powerful analytical category of the social sciences. It is the original concept. Yet modern social scientists have forgotten about it. And in the influence of Hegelian and Marxist historicism, functionalist schools, and the increased specialization of social scientific disciplines, when modern social scientists use the word regime, they falsely reduce it to political regime, to macro level politics, for they artificially carve society up into the political, the economic, the social, and the cultural, macro structure and micro agency. Yet the politeia is indivisible, at once political, economic, social, and cultural, and bridging macro level institutions and micro level habitus.
We revive the ancient paradigm within modern social science and synthesize it with contemporary theories of social differentiation. Imagine society. There are individuals, groups, institutions, organizations, ideologies. Yet, behind all these lie social fields. Fields such as politics, religion, business, arts, and journalism and science. Each of these fields carries its own semi-autonomous rules of the game, its own prestige system, and conception of human accomplishment. But in the competition between fields, some fields are stronger than others. And the most powerful field most strongly influences other fields across society, determining the character of the regime. So, we say that the character of a regime derives from the hierarchization of social fields and the manner and extent of their social differentiation. Differences between the regimes of societies then are differences in the hierarchization of social fields and the manner of their differentiation.
In our contemporary world, a multitude of radically different regimes continue to coexist. Theocracies in the Middle East are dominated by the religious field. China continues to be dominated by an authoritarian political field. Among liberal democracies, the United States is dominated by business, the commerce-minded Democrats, whereas Scandinavia is dominated by the state bureaucracy and egalitarian, bureaucratically equalized Democrats.
We have to ask, what is the best regime? Which field should lead society? Which form of human accomplishment should dominate and be placed above others? The business field and the self-made businessman, or politics and the political leader, or the religious ascetic, or the warrior?
the dutiful bureaucrat, or the Chinese scholar official, or of course, the classical Greek Platonic philosopher king. Which represents the highest and most legitimate form of life and power? This is the classical question, the eternal question. Yet, equally important, if not more important, is a question the ancients could not see clearly. The question of field differentiation. To what extent are and should social fields be independent from each other, able to play according to their own rules of the game? Field diversity, field differentiation, is the most fundamental source, the most fundamental form of diversity in society, and the foundation of liberal democracy. Not elections, not political checks and balances, not even the critical public sphere. All these are merely surface-level outgrowths of a prior and primordial field diversity. Field diversity has, throughout human history, from ancient Athens to the 17th century Dutch Republic and modern West, been the great source of democratic habitus, liberty, societal dynamism, and creativity.
But it was the very opposite ideal that created this splendid yet delicate garden. This garden sprang from a regime of unity and attempted permanence, in which one form of human accomplishment, that of the Confucian scholar official, ruled supreme at the expense of field diversity and creative dynamism. This then perhaps is the fundamental choice: majestic unity or creative diversity.